Young Voltage, and this is something I wanted to do for the past about 20 hours because videos was up last night. But after work last night, being one of my first few days of work, it was pretty exhausting. Being my first day of work, it was pretty exhausting. So I've actually had to wait till tonight to do it, being a day later from when this was uploaded. So let's see what happens in Samus versus Pit Smash Bracket. I know this is a bit late of reacting to this, so let's do this. I want to get this done fast. Woohoo!
It's hard to think of
Hey,
a more
yeah!
iconic female hero in gaming, and it's even harder to think of a more capable one. We're talking about somebody who's wiped out hordes of enemies in the coolest possible way just because it's the right thing to do. Somebody who, despite their traumatic past, never hesitates to look their deepest fears straight in the eyes and blast the crap out of them with rockets.
I'll be honest, in this fight,
who sent in to secure entire planets by herself when the entire galactic.
I'm gonna be honest, in this fight, I don't feel good for Pit. I don't think he got this one. I mean, he's fighting an intergalactic bounty hunter who's killed Ridley how many times? About 20. Don't fact check that, because I'm not gonna search that up. She's just a great fighter, and, well, Pit, the thing doesn't even know how to read. Against an intergalactic bounty hunter who slays a giant dragon, but then again, the giant dragon got killed by Link, who's from the 1700s, basically, by the looks of it. So, honestly, that's not really a big threshold to do to kill Ridley. When he died to Link, who's not really that capable of a fighter, in my opinion. But let's see what happens.
The Federation was incapable of handling it. We're talking about Samus Aran. Now, despite the imposing power she displays in her games, Samus wasn't always like this. She was raised on a remote, peaceful planet called K2L, along with her parents.
I don't know anything about this stuff or the other games, so I've got no freaking clue what's gonna go on.
Kept watch over the planet on behalf of the Galactic Federation.
I don't need lore, thank you very much. I don't care about lore.
Samus's mother pushed her out of the way and was reduced to a charred corpse right in front of her own daughter.
Ooh.
This sacrifice was accompanied by a distraction from Samus's father, who exploded the planet's entire supply of a floral type, but killing himself in the process. The diversion worked, though, and Ridley spared Samus, leaving the planet in a fit of rage. But not before devouring Samus's mother to heal his wounds with her flesh. Just like that, everybody that Samus knew and loved was gone. In fact, she was the only survivor on a planet now littered with corpses of the past. Men, women, and children that she knew her whole life, now gone. And she was absolutely powerless to do anything about it. Fortunately for Samus, though, this attack was noticed by a benevolent bird-like alien race called Chozo. The Chozo adopted Samus and brought her to their home world of Zebes. Unfortunately for Samus, this planet was also totally inhospitable for humans, and they didn't think that she'd last more than a few days. But fortunately for Samus, once again, these aliens were some of the most technologically advanced in the universe, and they solved this little problem by infusing her DNA with that of the Chozo who found her, Grey Voice. And they also mixed in a splash of DNA from the Chozo's greatest warrior, Ravenbeak, for good measure. They wanted to ensure that Samus would never have to feel that kind of helplessness that she felt on K2L ever again. So they trained her to become a true warrior, unlike the galaxy had ever seen, which was made even easier by an unexpected side effect of the Chozo DNA. Samus found that she had enhanced agility, speed, strength, reflexes, and durability. The whole super soldier cocktail, with one added twist. The Chozo also possess a limited amount of psionic ability to see into the future.
What?
This ability passed down to Samus in a limited capacity, allowing her a spider sense-like awareness of attacks before they come, letting her get in an easy counter-strike.
That sounds stupidly broken against Pit!
Chozo power suit to augment her physicality even more.
Not to mention the power suit bullcrap.
Not only is this thing powerful, but it's also controlled by her thoughts and can be summoned to her body at will. By the time that she was 14, she'd pushed far beyond what any human should have ever been capable of. After over a decade of trauma, Samus finally had the chance to find the people who stole her family and get revenge. And this revenge was made possible by the massively powerful weapons her base suit came equipped with. Her arm cannon could fire missiles, which by themselves are powerful enough to blow up giant monsters like this. And this damage is rivaled by her suit's bombs, which can destroy stone in its regular form, and with her power bombs she can clear entire rooms of debris. What stands apart from both of them, though, is her standard arm cannon.
Yes.
This thing can rapid-fire shots 3 at a time that go through solid objects, and she can fire nearly 100 of these shots per second. For true firepower, though, Samus can charge her cannon for a massive blast of plasma energy. Just by itself, this shot was able to damage enemies that even her super missiles or power bombs couldn't even scratch, such as when she had to fight a perfect clone of herself at her max power. But Samus can push this power even further with good technique. By hopping over an enemy and shooting them point blank in the face, Samus can use Overblast and increase her beam's damage by a factor of 7. And she can exceed this power even further with Lethal Strike, which uses a specially focused blast on a downed enemy that's capable of instantly killing just about everything that Samus comes across. Ultimately, these tools gave her the power.
You serious? She can one-shot people? Pitt's gonna get one-shot with a Lethal Strike.
Needed to track down and take out the space pirates.
This is even worse for Pitt.
For her, by the time she found the space pirates, it was too late. They had invaded her new home planet of Zebes, and it wasn't long before Samus came face to face once more with Ridley. Seeing him alongside all of the carnage now strewn around Zebes brought back all of the memories of the K2 massacre. The fear and trauma was so painful that she begged her comrades to kill her on the spot, ending things once and for all. But through this pain, there was a voice of reason that got through to her. Grey Voice. The Chozo that had saved Samus back on K2L. He implored her to use her pain as a motivation to help those across the galaxy from ever feeling the way that she did right at that moment. And then Ridley stabbed him through the throat and burned him to a crisp right in front of her. Samus and Ridley had an epic showdown in which Samus was finally able to beat the nightmare of her childhood for, like, the first time out of 8. And although the memories of his evil would haunt her forever, in the wake of this victory, Grey Voice's final words rang in her mind. She would use this pain and fear as fuel to protect the universe from suffering. Wherever there was someone who needed her help in the galaxy, she would be there to save them, no matter the cost. So she composed herself, hopped in her gunship, and set off to become the greatest bounty hunter to ever live. Samus sees herself as somewhat of a mama bear of the galaxy, being there to protect it wherever she's needed and go after anyone who puts it in danger. And to achieve this goal, she has decked herself the crap out with weapons, armors, and abilities like the world has never seen. When fighting a deadly radiation phazon on the planet of Talon 4, she upgraded her charge shot that I mentioned earlier with light and dark energy, which gave her access to new attacks that she could use to set her enemies on fire in an explosion of light, freeze them indefinitely inside of a life-draining dark energy, or combine these light and dark energies to create the Annihilator beam, which can fire disruptive homing shots to stun her enemies. And she can mix any of these beams with her missiles to fire devastating charge combos.
Like I said, I've never played any of these games.
Boom, which bombards her enemy by tearing open a hole in space-time on top of them, or the Dark Burst, which tears open a portal to an alternate dimension and pulls the enemies through it, removing them from battle entirely. If she ever runs low on missiles to fuel these with, Samus can use her admittedly very weird ability called Concentration to raise her blaster in the air for a few seconds. Doing so fully restocks her missile supply and heals her back to full health, just by raising her arm in the air for some reason. And that's not all her blaster can do. While fighting other deadly bounty hunters, Samus gained the ability to
This
shoot
character's
stupid!
stupid!
Light-speed lasers, stun guns with terawatts of voltage, and super-cooled plasma that approaches temperatures of absolute zero. And all of these abilities are only made easier to land with that premonition I mentioned earlier. Her counter can let her know when an enemy is about to attack a short while before it launches. And she can use this window to knock their attacks out of the way and blast them with a weapon. Or she could use her ability called Sense Move, which grants her intangibility while she dodges. And it also allows her to instantly fire a charge shot with none of the charging,
You serious?
but all of the power.
She could also
With
dodge
the
basically anything then?
ability, Samus can achieve near constant
kidding me?
intangibility while firing her most lethal attacks. Not only can she do this in her power suit, but she can also pull off the same maneuver in her Zero suit, using nothing more than her physicality and a stun gun capable of...
Is Zero Samus in these things? I don't think I remember seeing her.
Talk about some of the other ways that she's upgraded herself over the years.
Like you
She's
need
had
to.
a lot of armor upgrades, and I'm going to throw them all in the sidebar right now for you. But the most relevant ones here
Wario
are
suit, the gravity suit, the Phazon suit, the dark flashlight suit, the PED suit. Okay! I think that's enough! Samus is broken! Samus is a god-tier fighter, okay. Let's go into Pit.
Now, I know that this has been like drinking from a fire hose of information. There has been a lot of Metroid content over the years. But it all comes together to form the single most skilled warrior in the Metroid universe.
I don't doubt that one.
Wipe out a room of 100 highly skilled soldiers all trying to gun her down at once. And one whose name alone strikes fear into the hearts of criminals across the galaxy. And all of this is done in spite of the pain and fear in her life. And in spite of the post-traumatic terror that taunted her for her entire existence. All Samus wants to do is protect people with every last bit of strength she has, right up until the end. So, are you sold yet, Jason? Did you hear the list of abilities? I'd call that animation potential. You hear the soundtrack? I call that music potential. And who could possibly make for a good connection for someone like this? How about someone whose game was developed by the same team as Metroid, a game that ran off of the exact same engine as Metroid, and heck, a game that has Metroids. Well, kind of. All led by an incredibly powerful warrior who travels through space and fights space pirates out of a desire to protect humanity and serve a higher purpose. That's right, today I'm talking about everybody's favorite illiterate Icarus, Pit. And to help further increase the hype, I've asked a friend of the channel and fan of Kid Icarus, Raccoon Bro, to help break it all down. Side note...
Hey, why don't you get me on one of these things? I would love to break down a character, because, like, you've done a few of them that I would do, like Pikachu, for example. But why not bring someone that I mean? Because, like, I could do, like, Donkey Kong or something like that. Because I've done a lot of characters in these games, and I know a lot about some of these guys. For example, the Mario characters, I'm pretty good with them. Like, how about Luigi? I'd love to do Luigi.
Go check out his channel. It's full of some really fun versus community content. It's in the description below, but anyway, take it away.
Thanks, Ink. Glad to be here. Especially since I get to talk about a character from my favorite video game with Donkey Butt controls. While Samus is a deeply damaged, stoic warrior who wants to protect humanity, Pit comes to the same goal from a different angle.
Yeah.
To explain what I mean, we've got to go back to the beginning. Long, long ago, gods and men lived together in peace. Much of this harmony happened in the peaceful kingdom of Angel Land, which was ruled by two beautiful goddesses.
Palutena,
the goddess of light,
and I think Medusa
and
was.
the goddess of darkness.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to let you take a while.
I may not know anything about these guys, but I know just enough from Palutena's guidances to know that Medusa kind of made a clone out of Palutena, I think, or something like that. So Pit had to fight Palutena in an evil form or something like that. I'm not really that sure.
Guess which one of them turned evil and tried to destroy humanity.
Let's see,
While
Medusa.
Palutena loved humanity and blessed them with clear skies and delicious food, Medusa thought humanity sucked. So she destroyed their crops and turned everyone into statues. Oh, so that's why people want Palutena to fight Celestia. Well, it turns out that Palutena didn't care much for people getting stoned, and retaliated by cursing Medusa. She turned her into a snake monster and banished her to the underworld. Now, I'm not an expert or anything, but banishing to the underworld sounds a whole lot like a flowery way of saying she just killed the crap out of her.
Yes.
But regardless, something about being turned into a monster and getting sent to hell didn't sit right with Medusa, and fortunately for her, Palutena just sent her to a realm full of disposable, monstrous, undead soldiers. She began building an army of underworld soldiers and launched a full-scale counter-assault on Angel Land. The sheer size of this army turned the attack into a one-sided massacre. Palutena's army was totally destroyed, being either murdered or turned to stone. Left without anyone to defend her, Palutena was taken captive and imprisoned by Medusa's forces. In the wake of this tragedy, Palutena was left with only one hope. A young angel who was able to avoid the conflict, named Pit. She telepathically reached out to him and asked for his help to single-handedly try to take down an army that just wiped out everyone Pit knew and loved.
How did Pit survive that?
Sure. He had no allies. He had no wings. He barely had any weapons. But Pit still found the hope within himself to fight. Enemy by enemy, Pit cut his way through the underworld. He quickly proved himself to be somewhat of a one-man army as he easily tore through the ranks of Medusa's army of darkness. He wasn't just stuck with his bow for the entire time, though. He also picked up a few items along the way to aid
Water
in
of
his
life.
journey. One
Water
of the
barrel,
most useful was
mallet,
a bottle of
credit card.
angelic water that automatically prevents Pit from dying if he takes a lethal blow. And by using a special barrel, he can carry 8 of these at a time. He also made sure to get a credit card to use on the black market.
Really?
It's random, but alright.
I thought it was a joke.
Some special one-use mallets to
Angel
deal
feathers,
massive
heart.
damage to his enemies. And he never needs to worry about running out of these things either, because of the deadliest weapon in his early arsenal, a harp. Not just any harp, though. Just by touching this thing, Pit can transform every enemy near him into a hammer, instantly killing them and adding them to his arsenal of weapons like some holy General Grievous. But it was going to take more than arrows, hammers, and credit cards to beat the Goddess of Darkness.
Yes.
So Pit sought out a legendary set of weapons called the 3 Sacred Treasures. These were legendary for a reason. Heck, they were so useful that just by wielding them, Pit took on the name Amazing Pit. How sweet the sound. These
I mean,
treasures
I'm gonna be
consisted
honest.
of a bow that could shoot arrows of pure
I think
energy
that if
travel
he's
at
gonna
the
finish
speed
this
of
off,
light, a
he's gonna use the
mere
three sacred treasures to win the fight.
Projectiles and reduces damage taken by 50% respectively. And finally, the wings of Pegasus that grant the bearer unlimited flight. With these powers, Pit was able to fight his way through endless evils, slay the goddess of darkness, and rescue Palutena, who thanks Pit in a few different ways, depending on how well you did during the game.
Thank you, Pit.
Now, in the worst ending, she thanks Pit by, oh god, transforming him into a hideous monster and sending him away?
What?
Okay, old habits die hard, I guess. But in the best ending, she turns him into a buff, hunky man and kisses him. I'm just gonna go ahead and
He's a
pretend that
teenager.
wasn't canon. Holy crap, just give the kid a Lunchable or something. But maybe this hunkiness was worth the cursed cutscene. Pit is physically powerful enough to turn boulders to dust with a single strike, destroy giant space pirate battleships, and most impressively of all, he's strong enough to shatter the fourth wall. And to those who haven't seen my videos, believe me when I say fourth wall breakers are really annoying to deal with.
Yes, ask SMG4.
He's cursed his balanced gameplay, directly referenced his time in Super Smash.
SMG4 has literally one-shot characters like Deadpool due to just fourth wall breaking.
Brothers, which is confusing for our purposes today, to say the least. And he's even commented on how one of his enemies looked just like a Metroid. Funny how time travel works. But this adventure set off a long servitude / mother-son / big sister-little brother / whatever Twilight and Celestia are relationship for Pit and Palutena. He became the official captain of her Centurion army and was always at her beck and call if she ever needed his help.
Cool.
Every time Palutena and Angel Land were in danger, Pit was right there to help. Whether it was as big as fighting off a demon so evil that just saying his name turned people to stone, or as simple as helping Palutena out with the grocery run. As time went on, Pit's power, along with Palutena's faith in him, grew more and more. She blessed him with special powers to carry into combat.
Like flight?
And while he's technically drawing this power from an outside source, that power is such a vital part of his moveset that not allowing them on a technicality would be a disservice to the character. There's a clear difference between allowing a character to have his most iconic powers versus something like calling Palutena herself into battle. Whether these powers are being granted by Palutena or when they were temporarily granted by the goddess of nature, Viridi, aka Starfire, that one's for you, Steve. Pit is able to masterfully use these to become a serious threat. The most iconic is his power of flight, which allows Pit to fly freely without the aid of his Pegasus wings for up to 5 minutes. Should Pit try to push beyond this time limit, his wings will be burned up, causing potentially fatal injuries. Flight is far from Pit's only ability, though. He can fire giant lasers, create massive explosions, summon meteors, and can even create pseudo-black holes. When Pit had a run-in with a magical mirror of truth, rather than using it to turn one ice cream sundae into 2 ice cream sundaes like he had planned,
Dark
he
Pit
accidentally duplicated himself to create a dark counterpart of himself called Dark Pit, whom Pit affectionately called Patu. While he originally was an adversary to Pit, as time passed, they grew a tentative friendship and became valuable training partners for each other. As a result, Pit became a master of combat and specializes in 9 different types of weapons. And these aren't your run-of-the-mill weapons for mere mortals. These were crafted by and imbued with the power of gods. As such, each weapon has both close-range combat and long-range projectile capabilities.
I do not know about these weapons.
Bows allow him to shoot blasts of magical energy, which he can split into twin swords for melee combat and summon down a storm of arrows. Blades can slice things up and be fired like a machine gun. Cannons are like magical grenade launchers that fire massive concussive blasts, while orbiters hover around Pit's shoulders to provide him cover. Pit also has a variety of weapons that specialize in close range combat, such as clubs, claws, arm cannons, and magical tattoos called palms that use Pit's unlimited life energy to fire blasts of magic energy. If Pit finds himself at long range, his staffs function as a sort of magic sniper rifle.
But those staffs, those are in Smash Bros. They're Pit's?
Who was his exact clone? But Pit's mastery with these weapons aren't even what makes them so scary. He can increase his power with weapon modifiers and equip powers for extra versatility. These allow him to turn his targets to stone, reduce his opponent's max health by 50%, automatically target an enemy's weak point, transform them into a tempura fried shrimp and an eggplant, or just straight up instantly kill it.
Excuse me. Turn into an eggplant or a shrimp.
Opponents upon impact. Okay, yeah, that last one wasn't nearly as creative. He just literally killed that guy. These abilities can also enhance his
He can one.
They allow him to
Oh, great! There's 2 people who one-shot each other. These 2 have one-shot abilities. How fun! I guess it goes to speed then.
Pit can become invincible for 16 seconds, automatically counter incoming attacks, choose to heal from attacks that would otherwise kill him, turn invisible and intangible, automatically reflect incoming attacks, steal a random ability from his opponent, or feign his own death to trick his opponent and allow for a surprise attack. But if Pit really needs a boost to his strength, he can call in the Great Sacred Treasures, which is essentially a giant mech suit that grants Pit access to deadly tornadoes, flames, laser beams, and a giant laser sword? Oh, it's So anime. With the strength of this suit, Pit can
What?
match the strength of gods with blows so powerful that the shockwaves alone can shatter a small mountain range. But Pit is impressive even without his suit. Just
Sorry about that, guys. Let's continue this.
on his own, he's fast enough to fly to space
Just
in a
was
short
talking
amount
about for a
of
second
time,
there.
and he was able to steer the legendary lightning chariot as it moved 3 times the speed of light. While he's not making any crazy huge
That might be
arm
another thing you
movements
can finish
here,
off with a
even
fight.
just the minimal adjustment he makes while flying requires him to move around 700 times the speed of sound. And if speed wasn't enough for you, he's also so durable that when this chariot slammed into a barrier at its max speeds, Pit was totally fine afterwards. All this strength and all these abilities came together to allow Pit to overcome insurmountable odds time and time again. But these things aren't what make Pit such an incredible fighter, though. Pit gives each battle he approaches maximum effort
Everything.
and devotion. He has complete and total trust in Lady Palutena and enthusiasm to battle for her name.
Yet he
Willing to
lost
face
to Link
down overwhelming
on
evil with
Death
optimism and
Arena.
dauntless battle
I mean, a death
pride.
battle.
He's able to keep up hope and faith even in the most dire of situations. Whether he's fighting against an opposing army, literal gods, or even a good-hearted space bounty hunter, Pit is sure to give the battle everything he's got with an arrow in his quiver and a smile on his face. Not bad for a guy who can't read.
Underling of Medusa floating before me. It's time for you to atone for your crimes. I am Pit, servant of the goddess of light, and you are history. What was that all about?
I'm not sure. Let's just skip this ad, but
Deadpool haven't burned down the place by now.
Let's continue.
Thanks for having me, and here's to a fair fight. Back to you, Ink.
Alright, I've looked over everything and
and Hank, honestly, just get in contact with me on Discord because I already have contact with you. I would love to collab with you on one of these things. Because, well, I may not be that big, but I am one of your biggest fans as someone who's reacted to all but one of these things because my footage got corrupted. I did watch Rosalina versus Robin, but my footage that I did that in got corrupted, so I didn't want to do it again. Because, well, I knew it happened in the thing, and I didn't want to ruin it.
to make a good
But I did
matchup.
react to
I've
it.
even enlisted outside help. We've got animation potential, check. Crossover material, check. Music potential, check. A debatable matchup, check. Analysis potential, check. Connection between the fighters, check. I've done it. We have created the perfect versus matchup. And you know what, Jason? If this didn't do it for you, I don't know what to say. That said, all of this potential is wasted if we can't successfully stick the
I'm gonna be honest.
So without further ado, let's get into
I
the
think
fight and find
Terry
out
versus
who will
Ken
win
was a
and
great
moves on to the
matchup.
next round of the Smash bracket.
That was a great match with Terry versus Ken. It was a really good fight as well. The Minecraft Battle Royale is one of the best ones you've got, because like that makes really good sense. So now, who wins this? Hi, Dark Samus. Pichu! Pichu! Ooh, LA Kid Smoochum and Jinx are all... LA Kid Smoochum and Magby are all dead now. No. You're not hurting Pichu. Thank you, Samus, for saving little Pichu. Not right now, Selena. Hi, Dark Pit. Hi, Pit.
Oh, Samus, what a surprise. Your armor looks so good in the dust clouds. Hey, is that a new cannon?
You can exchange numbers after the fight, Casanova.
Right. Samus Aran, in the name of Lady Palutena, I, Pit, servant of the goddess and protector of all that is good. I guess not all that is good.
Just get on with it.
Palutena says it's good for me, but Pichu just says that's Big Veggie trying to spread his propaganda, so I guess it's up to interpretation. In any case, I, Pit, challenge you to a fight. Oh, hey, wait. Pichu has that taken care of. I'm your opponent, remember?
No.
Verity? I don't think she's listening. Maybe I can fight someone else from Metroid. Is Ridley taken yet?
Keep trying, Pit. If nothing else, we'll probably remind her into fighting.
Verity? I think she's annoyed.
Great, I'll get the popcorn.
Yeah. Alrighty then, let's turn up the heat.
Ow.
It's too cramped, I can't fly in here.
She's narrowing down your options, but you should be alright as long as you don't lose sight of her.
This is over. Go home.
No, it's not. As long as people are counting on me, as long as I still breathe, I won't give up. Give up!
Even Samus tried to spare him, and he still didn't give up.
Greedy, I need the sacred treasures.
Are you crazy? Get out of there while you still can!
I'm not running, and that won't keep her down long. This is our only shot.
Your wings are damaged, and we already used the power of flight. If the Pegasus...
I know what will happen, but they will hold out. They have to.
Pit, you need to stop flying.
No! Palutine is counting on me. I can do this.
You gotta give him heart.
Now, this is over. Please give up.
Ooh, his mech suit's done. That's the ending, seriously?
It's gonna be alright, Pit. You did your best.
That's the ending? Seriously? That's such an anticlimactic ending. Come on!
Don't worry.
That's the best ending you got to end a fight? You just have her tase him in the back. Lightly.
Oh, I love that animation so much. Big thanks to Cheetomon YT for helping us throw this together, and to Aircade.
Still, Samus is going to win with a super climactic laser knocking Pit out of the air and heavily injuring him, but not killing him. It's possible Samus just finished off one of her plasma blast thingies. Okay. Still with Samus, I don't know how the combat section just had to switch at these sides, but I still am grounded. If not more so than before, I just doubt Pit has impressive combat speed, and Samus has time manipulation and very solid bullet catching feat. For full combat speed, Samus has more games to draw from, more experience, more intelligence, and albeit, and more impressive larger arsenal hacks, Pit does have transportation, but I wouldn't be super surprised if Samus somehow resisted it, or just had more win cons to pull out from. Samus has the energy siphoning, etc., and several other obscure things that many people don't know about, like her scanning visor, which is essentially like Phi, giving her data on the opponent. Samus has advantage in nearly every field. Pit will end up exhausting his abilities and being the not-so-smart angel boy he is. It will not be able to figure out anything more to do. Most of Samus's attacks will be strategic, while Pit's will be more chaotic and freelanced. Samus will shoot down Pit from the sky, and his wings will burn up, or he will run out of time, and they will burn up on their own. As Pit falls to the ground, almost defeated, defenseless and beaten, and near the point of death, he summons the rest of his strength and tries to best overcome Samus on the ground, and will come hand to hand or close quarters, and Samus will end up later draining his life out of Pit. Pit falls unconscious, and we cut to game. The winner is Samus Aran. That is actually pretty close for the prediction. Let's do this. Let's continue then.
On the writing team for this being their first full script they wrote by themselves. Now, on my community tab, this was a pretty clear-cut vote for Samus, and while she did take it in the end, I'm not exaggerating when I say that this fight caused the single most back-and-forth debate that we've ever had as a research team. What it ultimately came down to was a battle of stats versus abilities. Samus took the advantage over Pit in most every single stat category, although who has the higher degree of combat intelligence is debatable. That said, while Samus was a powerhouse with a decent amount of versatility, Pit had
specializes in finding exploited weaknesses for higher speed, even more so with time slows, counter and sense moves, shut down many attack options, dark burst can remove Pit from the fight, can turn invisible into intangible, no way to survive with transformation or instant kill attacks. Her scanner would not have information on Pit, higher potential damage output but lower baseline damage, could instantly win with transportation or instant kills, has abilities to dodge reflect attacks, has A revives with one model of life, not durable to survive multiple attacks, unlikely to kill Samus through physical means, no way to deal with Dark Burst, Samus could track him even when invisible, Sacred Treasures could break from strong hits, never learned how to read, both fighters could win with a single attack. Yes! Like I said earlier.
Power and speed, but had far deadlier options at his disposal. Samus was able to dish out and take a serious hit, whether that's blowing up enemies or surviving a nuclear explosion. And her durability was high enough that even when one-shotting an exact clone of himself, Pit would never be able to hurt her through conventional means.
We need to land 2 hits. We need to land 119 hits.
Have to hurt her to win. If we assume that he led with an optimal winning strategy,
battle move overpower,
really
transmutation, or instant kill.
Hit her a single time with an instant kill ability or transmutation ability. That would basically guarantee him a win every single time a shot connected. But all Samus needed to do was hit him twice for each life that his revives gave him, or just shoot him once ever with the Dark Burst to remove him from the battle. And this dynamic is made all the more dangerous for Pit when Samus can combine her lethal charge shots with the ability to shoot them rapid fire while maintaining near constant intangibility. While Pit's arrows traveling at light speed would be incredibly hard to deal with, the speed at which he could maneuver his body around to fire those arrows was considerably lower, at 700 times the speed of sound. And while this number is impressive, it also pales in comparison to the speeds that we see Samus pulling when she jumped out of that ship at her maximum speed for a surprise attack. In order to run to the back of the ship and still have time to fire, she would need to be running nearly 22,000 times the speed of sound. And when this is given a 30% speed increase from her Varia suit, and access to a 50% time slowdown, that gave Samus an effective combat speed of nearly 57,000 times the speed of sound. That is more than enough to reliably dodge its weapons. But even if it wasn't, we should take into account Samus's counter sense. On average, this gives her around a third of a second's notice before an attack is fired. Pit can shoot his arrows about 90 meters, but in that third of a second, Samus would be able to blitz over 4,000 miles, which, that's more than 90 meters. Now,
yes.
He does have some options to mitigate this risk, such as abilities that allow him to automatically dodge attacks or use otherwise lethal damage to heal instead of dying. But as we said, if he was proving difficult to take out, Samus always just had the option of using her Dark Burst to pull him from battle and stick him in another dimension. That didn't mean that there was no risk to her, though. Like I said, we kept going back and forth as a team, because all it would take is one single attack or one single touch of his heart to force Samus to spend the rest of her life as a mallet or a tempura shrimp. And Pit had 8 extra lives on top of that to formulate the strategy. So it all came down to whether or not he'd be able to land an attack against someone who's so much faster than him and knows when his attacks are coming, and specializes in avoiding attacks and launching a counterattack of her own at the same time. Now, depending on what strategy the fighters open with, this is a fight that could honestly go either way. But with Samus's overwhelming stats, we believe that she'd be able to get past Pit's options more often than not and take him out of the fight. So at the end of the day, Samus Aran is the winner and will be moving on.
Not surprised. Who's next? Come on, show me someone good, please. Come on. Villager. What a disappointment. You're bringing my most hated character character in all of Smash Bros. Against who? Alex was Alex. Yeah, because Alex won the fight against the Minecraft people. Alex was a villager. Alex, please murder villager. I don't like that little thing. That thing is so damn annoying because he just camps you any. I'm a person who plays Smash Bros. Competitively sometimes, and I've faced villagers online sometimes, and damn, they are annoying. They just camp the hell out of you. What can I say besides, villager, die. Alex, I'm praying for you to win that fight. Put him into the dirt. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to tell you Sky new. And also, subscribe to Smash Bracket. These videos are getting better and better. Bye!